Violin Concerto in E minor, Op. 64. I am going to be performing this concerto with the Junior Guildhall Symphony Orchestra in Milton Court on the 2nd of December. 2nd of December, yes, the 2nd of December. Oh, December. Oh, it's coming to Christmas time. Christmas! Oh, I'm so excited for that. Well, I wonder what is the latest trend this year. Last year probably could have been blue or orange. The year before could have been pink or green. But you know what I mean. The trends, you have it in fashion, in food, in beauty region. It's all everywhere. Well, then that makes me wonder, is it the same with classical music? Should you play with originality, or should you play like how the composer wished us to play? In this concert on Saturday, I'll play a bit more like how Mendelssohn wanted us to play. And how did he want us to play? Well, I'm going to tell you in this video. Some players play this concerto how Mendelssohn intended us to play, but they are not very appreciated by the audience or the critics. But how did Mendelssohn want us to play? From this book, an extract from this book by Max Rudolph, A Musical Life, Writings and Letters, we are going to see Hans von Bülow, one of Mendelssohn's students, piano pupils, and he's going to tell us how Mendelssohn wants us to play his music. Whoever wants to play Mendelssohn the correct way must forget all sentimentality. Blah, blah, blah. Despite the temptation derived from certain passages, one must try to play such passages simply in time, with an even, beautiful touch, of course, and will no doubt notice that they sound much nobler and more graceful this way than when played with a passionately excited rubato. The master insisted above all on strict observance of the rhythm. He prohibited categorically any ritardando not marked in the score, and wanted those that were marked to be limited to a minimum. So now we know that Mendelssohn does not like us to play with rubato, but simply in time. Now we're going to Frankfurt. This is December the 17th, 1844. And this letter, only part of it, is translated from German to English. First of all, is the altered and extended cadenza agreeable to you? Now, talking about the cadenza, I have a score of the 1844 edition of the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. There are two editions. The one which we are playing now is the 1845 edition, which Ferdinand de Wied, the person whom Mendelssohn dedicated this concerto for, helped him to edit. Now, talking about the cadenza, this is with Mendelssohn's own handwriting. Cool. The cadenza was quite different in the 1844 edition to the 1845 edition. Let me show you. So this is the beginning of the cadenza here. And you can see the arpeggios are different. And you have different notes like da 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 da. So it was quite different. So now he is asking, is the altered and extended cadenza agreeable to you? I like it much better, but is it well written and playable? What is too much or too little? The arpeggios are now meant to begin immediately in tempo and to continue in four voices right until the tutti. Okay, so this is what he said, but what does he mean by that? This is the cadenza. He wants us to play the, the arpeggios right in tune. Of course, in tempo. Let's see where it is. Here, right here. He wants us to play from here to here, right absolutely in tempo. No rubato, no ritornado. Because you see, in the 1844 edition, let me see if I can find it. This is afterwards. He wrote the cadenza a bit differently. So let me show you. Now, see over here. It's a bit different to what it is written on our scores. See, let me see. Well, these are a few arpeggios which you play in four voices, which he was talking about. This letter was written when he had already did the 1845 score, a bit of it. So here it is the same as before, but here it's a bit different, and that's what he is asking in the score to Ferdinand David. So this means that Mendelssohn had written a new cadenza now. This is the end of 1844. He's beginning to write the 1845 edition, and he's asking Ferdinand David, does he like it? And he did reply, it's been lost, unfortunately, but we know that Mendelssohn received the reply on the 27th of December, 10 days after, and because the same day he mailed David a note of thanks. The difference between the 1844 and the 1845 edition are mainly in the orchestra, but there are a few changes in the first movement, not really in the second or third movement. And the cadenza is one part in the first movement which has been changed. There are also, there's a passage here, let me find it, somewhere very close here. I think it's here actually. Yeah, it's a big score. This is 65 pages. Here. He writes something different to what we have now. Let me take you a score of the violin part of the 1845 edition. Well, you see, here we have a tutti. In bar 210, we have a tutti, and then we play da la 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 la. But here he writes something different. He goes like you see here he writes something altogether different. It's like a series of scales, which is quite interesting. But soon he changed that when Ferdinand David asked him. There's also a couple of changes in like octaves. Like for example, let's say over here. We play it on the E string, but he writes it on the first position. Where is it? Here. I have transported myself and you to this part of the room because I'm going to show you now how Mendelssohn wanted us to play his cadenza more detailed. So along with my violin, you see, if I hadn't known about these letters between Mendelssohn and Ferdinand David, well, I only just knew recently, very recently, I would have played the cadenza a bit like this. Now, Mendelssohn intended us to play a bit like this. So he also, the bowings are also different, as you have noticed. You know, he wrote in the music, like I showed you, the arpeggios as chords and wrote the word arpeggios on top. And so when Ferdinand David asked him for what bowings he should play, he told him just to play it straight, like what I've just played the second time. And this bowing now is what editors put in very much, you know, like probably a few decades later. So you see, Mendelssohn wanted us to play absolutely in tempo, almost no rubato, but simply in time.